Pants.
Hello and welcome to Gamersledge podcast. Come on in, sit down, relax, have yourself a nice, delicious apple cider in a bark cup
That you
with a
drop
glass
all over
bottom
the
that
You just broke.
I did not. Luckily, it landed well. I didn't want to say it landed well, but it landed and not broke. Sit down and relax. It's a conversation. Ooh, I got tree bark all over my computer now.
It's barking at you.
And glitter. That's the best part. Tree bark and glitter.
I don't even want to know.
Yeah. I have no idea what Oh yeah, come on in, sit down, relax. It's a conversation about the video game industry, a look at what it means to be a hardcore gamer, and a conversation amongst friends. Joining us this week, all the way from the far white north, it's Kate.
Hello.
And next to her in my list of participants, the third amigo, it's Matt.
Howdy, or hola, or...
And Happy New Year in 2016 to everyone.
Don't be so. Supposed to say Happy New Year?
Yeah, don't be so enthusiastic. It's all right. The site's back up. It's finally.
the saga of the site.
I still have some work to do, but it is back up and it's running. And obviously the podcasts are back up now as well. In fact, the ones that we thought were not going to have audio podcasts, I've already fixed that thanks to some help from our engineer. We got that all sorted, and this one will go up automatically starting tomorrow. So yay. Let's go around the room and talk about all the fantastic things we have done over the holiday break. Kate, what's Christmas in Canada like?
Same as Christmas everywhere else. Except we get
with more maple syrup.
The day after. So we get 2 holidays.
And how much hockey is involved?
I didn't watch any.
Oh, well, there you go. All right. What have you been up to? What do you play?
Well, I finished Final Fantasy VII.
Wow, already?
Yeah,
that triple speed cheat must have been worked well for you.
I almost got the platinum. I'm just missing 2 trophies.
Wow.
The only trophies I'm missing are getting the date with Barrett, which I would have got if I hadn't used the Cosmo Canyon glitch. So, I mean, that's easy enough to get. The other one is getting 10,000 points in the speed bike race game in the Cold Saucer, which I'm never going to get, ever. Like, I suck at that game so bad. So I've just kind of given up on getting that platinum. I platinumed Until Dawn.
Nice.
So I'm just trying to pack in as many games as I can before Dead or Alive Extreme 3 comes out. And I also finished Ninja Gaiden 2. I didn't platinum that because there's like a ton of trophies with, get 1,000 kills with every weapon and then like all those. I don't know if I'll go back to it and try and do some of those or not, but I might just move on to some other stuff I haven't played. I played a lot of Record Keeper. I got all. The only crystal I think I need to get, like I got everything that was offered, except I haven't gotten Waka's Crystal 2 yet.
So I skipped, what was the last one?
Ferris and Creel?
Ferris, was she the one that had the level 2?
No, Lena did.
Lena, yes. I skipped that one because I got to the one before and I could not beat it.
I know, it took
over again.
So many mithril for me to beat it was hard.
No, you know what I did? I said, screw it, because they showed us that we don't have to get it now. Because they will have another one of these events that they did where you just get the token and then use the token on the... You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but then, because you only get so many tokens, and they're going to offer, I think the next event is 8 memory crystals, and you only get 4 tokens.
Oh, really? Because they had 4 for this one, so I thought they were going to...
I think it's going to be doubled next time, like the amount of the ones you can get. So, since I got Lena's, I don't have to worry about, like, I can get the other ones that I couldn't get. But yeah, I got Riku's crystal and stuff. I'm just working my way to Waka now. I also downloaded Tap My Katamari, which is, I guess, like how Tap Titans is played. You just tap the screen to make a Katamari. It makes my arm sore. Like, seriously. I don't know how you guys play Tap Titans like for so long. I can only play for like
Well,
small
see,
parts because my
I do a
carpal tunnel
double.
starts. Yeah, my
I do
carpal
a
tunnel
double.
starts acting up.
Yeah. I don't play Tap Titans for very long at one given time. So.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just
Also,
like, oh my god, my hand is so sore. But yeah, so I mean, I just wish they would make a console Katamari again. I mean, it's kind of like it's nice to see it again, but at the same time, it's just like, I wish this was a console game, not just like a tap, like
so
that they bring back Katamari Damashi.
do you watch? Do either of you watch South Park?
Not in many, many
I haven't
moons.
watched it in a long time.
Okay, so I'm going through season 18, which was last season, and they just did an episode about freemium games, and it was actually Canada. It is the Terrence and Phillips freemium game, and Canada was actually basically taking advantage of people with addictions so that they could build their infrastructure because they were funneling all the money from the freemium game into actually building hospitals and stuff in Canada. And I watched
Actually,
that.
our infrastructure is probably in better shape than yours.
Oh, it probably
There's
is.
documentaries on how America is crumbling.
Yeah, it probably is. But it was actually a really on point, and they talked about how the previous iteration was you paid money for a game and then you enjoyed it for as long as you
Yeah.
wanted to. And now it's you have a barely fun game and you have to pay money to get dopamine and then you go from there. I'm like, this is not, yeah, I don't want to see this. But yeah, I thought it was pretty amusing and on point for a lot of how this stuff works because I'm missing there's so many freemium games that come out now. I'm missing the original model.
Yeah, I mean, I don't download a lot of cell phone games. This is like my second one. This is the only game I've downloaded since Record Keeper.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I'm not really bored with it yet because I don't really play games.
Is it fun or is it? See,
it's not as fun as if it was like one of the console games.
See,
I play like the PS2 ones.
Record Keeper to me is fun. It's one of the few ones that I have that is fun. But I am also one of those sick people who has the Japanese mentality that work is fun, and so, it's work, but at the same time, it's fun to me. So I get that one, but a lot of the other ones go by the wayside.
Yeah, I'm not gonna put a lot of time into Tap My Katamari. I mean, it's just kind of fun to have it.
That's good. You should leave the house once in a while.
Yeah. But yeah,
so what else?
That's about it. I started playing The Order again too. I want to try and actually finish that game.
It's an easy platinum.
I know. I've tried to get it. I've tried to start it up 2 or 3 times, and I've barely gotten anywhere because something else always came out that I was gonna play. It's not that like the game bored me or anything. It's just something else came out, so it kept getting interrupted. So I think I'll do that one next. Yeah, that's it.
Matt, I know you've entertained a few games.
I have, and I started to try to write them down earlier tonight, and I'm like, I have no idea how many of them. I know there's more than this, but these are the notables. Tap Titans and Yahtzee on my phone. Neither of them terribly much, just enough to keep going. I don't even play Tap Titans every day anymore.
I don't even play Record Keeper at all anymore.
No, I don't. I gave up on that after it just got to be too much to try to keep up with. It was, yeah. Actually just started diving pretty heavy into Wolfenstein: The New Order. I picked that up on one of the sales. It was pretty cheap.
I did. I haven't even booted it. I did too. Actually.
That is a freaking awesome game. It's just just fun, It's not graphically.
Wait. This is very important. You're saying a first-person shooter is fun?
Yeah. Again, I'm not playing any multiplayer. I'm playing against the computer, which is how I like to play first-person shooters. I'm not a multiplayer person. It's got a good story. I mean, it's got a story that doesn't get in the way. It keeps the things moving. It gives you a reason to be killing Nazis if you needed reasons to kill Nazis. And it fits the Wolfenstein kind of over the top model. It is they found a way to make a shooter fun. I still die. There are still parts that are frustrating, but all in all, I keep going back to it because I am having fun with it. It's crazy, and it's I think I just got some kind of like laser blowtorch weapon. It's just like, why not? The laser blowtorch, sure, why not? I finished up the Telltale Game of Thrones.
As did I. Yes.
I don't know. I have a feeling that I got, and I'm not saying that any of the endings were good, right? Because it's
you
Game of
hadn't
Thrones.
finished it last time we talked.
No, last time we talked, I hadn't finished it yet, and I have a feeling none of the endings are good, right? There's no way you can end this game on a good note.
Bad ending and bad plus plus ending.
Yeah, exactly. I think I got the bad plus 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 ending.
No, I'm pretty sure the game is a bad plus 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 ending, and we don't mean we're not saying that the game is bad.
No, I enjoy.
We're saying that the outcome of the events in the storyline are not a favorable thing.
Let's just say it made it pretty obvious that one character would either live or die based on your choices. Yeah, I didn't get the live option.
You think it would be Game of Thrones or something?
Yeah, you think.
You think. I think. My wife likes to recall with fondness the day I emerged from the basement with tears streaming down my face because of the end of season 1 of The Walking Dead. That moved me. This one, made me want to slit my wrists. There was no happy, no silver lining. I'm just now convinced that George R.R. Martin is a sadist. And he likes messing with people.
He's a master.
Well, now he's not even.
Uses his books for practice.
And now he's not even going to finish it. He's just going to hang out on this next book for forever. So
Yeah, well, we can talk about that for just a second. It's not one of the news items I had listed, but I thought really hard about it. The 6th season of the TV show is coming out before the new book, and apparently all the readers are up in arms that he's taking so damn long to finish it.
And he's basically said, I'm not going to hurry it. I've got too many things going on. I'll get it done when I get it done. So you can tell he's really interested in it. It's like, man, why didn't I end this thing like 3 books ago?
You could just watch the TV show.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
That's all I've done. I have never read one of the books.
Too.
So.
Me too.
But it was an enjoyable game. I will say, of the Telltale games, it felt like the games all are going to end at basically a similar point, right? I mean, it's a game. Yeah. It doesn't have. It's not a true choose your own adventure. It doesn't have 30 different endings with 100 different permutations of who lives and who dies and whatnot like that. So they're going to end up in fairly the same place regardless of what you do. But this one really kind of took your agency away at times, because there were times where you were given 3 choices or 4 choices or whatever it was, and basically no matter what you picked, it forced it into the choice that it wanted you to pick. This was the one that was the most obvious in, I guess. I did not have a happy ending. I'm like I said, I'm sure if there is a most unhappy ending, that's the one I ended up with.
I have a feeling we had the exact same ending.
It could very well be. I thought it would be interesting sometime. I've never looked on YouTube to see if there's a person that's got a video of all the different permutations of the endings to these things or not. A poison. Poison. I don't know. I just kept rolling. Same sale that I bought Wolfenstein on, I also bought Metal Slug 3. Why? Because I keep on thinking that those types of games are fun and then realizing that I'm horrible at them.
I do the same thing. I'm all like, ooh, Metal Slug. Oh, this game. Why did I buy this again?
This would actually get added to the list that we're going to talk later because I do need to play it co-op because it really is meant to be played co-op. It's not meant to be played solo. So, and then I played the game of buying more Rock Band songs and then not playing Rock Band.
I'm almost. The wife and I are not playing it on a regular basis again, and I'm really thinking like until they release multiplayer, I'm just gonna wait.
Yeah, I mean, we've got enough people, and the kids have been bugging me to play it the last couple of nights. Of course, they waited till after holiday break to bring it up, but so I'm sure we're going to be playing, either this weekend or sometime soon. But they did come out with a couple of packs of songs that are relevant to people of their age group. So those were a lot of the purchases that were made, and then I made a couple of YouTube purchases and something. Can't remember what it was. Oh, Tears for Fears. Because everybody wants to rule the world.
Oh, for a second I thought you said YouTube purchases, and I'm like,
oh, no.
Yeah, I got it. YouTube, as in
yes.
Yes.
U2, as in the group Irish people. That apparently Kate hates Irish people.
I do hate you too.
Well, we love you.
Aww.
No, I hate the band.
Okay. Because you just said you hate us too. I'm like, man.
No, I hate the band.
Say what you will about them.
Then,
they are smart because they own the rights to all their songs.
Yeah, they did some things right for themselves. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And I do enjoy a lot of their early to mid '80s stuff.
I do like some of their earlier stuff. I don't like new U2.
I've listened to the new YouTube, but I still haven't found what I'm looking for.
That's for the end of the show.
You're not allowed to do a pun at the end of the show. That's your pun.
Yeah, you expended your pun allotment. And then obviously the time sink that owns all of our souls, Fallout 4.
I still haven't played it. It doesn't own me.
I started Into the Wasteland. I'm not terribly far in, and Mark knows well my pace in these types of games is truly glacial. So I've been playing.
I was impressed you made it to level 11.
Well, the leveling generally isn't the hard part. It's just, it takes me forever to get through anything because I collect all the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's an ashtray, and I can't carry it. I go back to town, I dump off my stuff, and I go back for that ashtray, by God.
So I want to address this since you brought it up. I believe that this game is no longer what it once was, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying it has evolved into a hoarding simulator.
There is definitely an aspect of that.
It is. You have Sims version or Sims aspects of the games where you build cities that enable you to hoard, and compounds that you can dump your things in so that you can hoard more stuff.
Yep. But then there is a point to hoarding the stuff.
There is.
There's totally a point. You're not just hoarding to hoard, right? I mean, there was when I finished Skyrim, I had dressers full of weapons scattered all across the kingdom that were doing me absolutely no good. So that was just hoarding for the sake of hoarding because who knew when I might need that +2 bastard sword, one-handed magic weapon. I might someday need it. I don't know. But this actually, they literally call the stuff junk, but it's not. It is stuff you actually need to progress certain parts of the story or certain parts of the game or to do any of your item customization. So
they need a unlimited adhesive, oil, and copper patch.
God, yeah. You need the adhesive and screws, man. Those are my two things right now. It's just like, God. It's 4,000 radioactive material. I need 3 screws and I have 2. Dang it.
They should just have a hardware store you can raid.
Well, there are certain parts like that. There's like a grocery store that you can raid that's got a lot of stuff in it, and there's a couple of places where you can gather a lot of stuff. But some of the stuff, just like adhesive, is just elusive as heck.
How much intelligence did you invest in?
I don't remember. It wasn't my top. I think it was 5, I think.
Oh, you might want to put a couple more points. There's a skill that when you break down weapons and armors, it gives you the rare items back. So you
Oh,
get screws and stuff.
I figured
Off
that
the
had to be a mod
yeah.
somewhere that I hadn't gained access to yet. Yeah.
Well, I just got it at like level 22 or something, 23 somewhere in there.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure that I like my build. I actually like one of my kids' builds better. It's like, dang it, how did you build better than I did? But I kind of doubled down on strength just because I knew carrying was going to be a big deal early on. I just wanted to be able to make sure I could carry everything, and then load up dog meat and make him carry all my stuff, and then carry more stuff. And
See, I
but
did the 7-7 split of intelligence and strength.
okay. Yeah, I kind of loaded up more on agility, endurance. I kind of balanced out agility, endurance, and intelligence because agility and endurance were both VATS related,
Mm-hmm.
and then intelligence just because you need that for some of the crafting stuff. But yeah, I'm enjoying that game. It is one of the few games that does make for me work fun. It's not as bad as your Final Fantasy 11 addiction, where the game was nothing but a work simulator. But you do put a lot of menial work in to do stuff. I mean, there's still the running around and shooting stuff too,
Which is fun.
which is fun. And it works well.
It's a little weird to me, actually, because you've got VATS, but then you can not spend action points and turn it into a first-person shooter.
Yeah. I actually one of my kids, I can't remember which one off the top of my head, barely ever uses VATS. He almost just exclusively treats it like an FPS.
With my sniper rifles, I do not use VATS ever.
No, yeah. The sniper rifle's way better just aiming it and use L3 to hold your breath, and it's way better than using VATS. I tend to use VATS more when I'm getting in tight situations, just because it slows down time.
A Honda?
Or a Volkswagen? No, but like when I'm being charged by like 3 or 4 ghouls,
Mm-hmm.
and I've got my shotgun or something, and then I can target one, target the other one, and either to try to take out their legs so that they can't run at me, or if it's strong enough, take them out. Those are the situations where I really try to use VATS more. Otherwise, I am usually, as I'm wandering through the wasteland, just randomly hitting it so that, like, if I come across a mine or a trap or something, it comes up so you see it and don't get blown up. Because man, that's one way to just ruin your day. Is you're just trolling along, strolling along, excuse me, boom, and
you thought you were
body.
John.
Yeah, John for a minute.
Trolling
and then your limbs are flying all over, and the 4,000 gallons of blood, which is all under pressure, is spewing out of stumps and stuff. Very anime-esque death sequences.
I think the only real complaint that I can level at the game is that with the new perk system, they don't really give you any breathing room to adjust your build if you did something wrong. Because I am level 25 now, and I realized that I needed to put 4 more points in charisma than I have to unlock trade routes between settlements and stuff. And because I was going to do that, but every level there's something else I actually need that's keeping me from sinking those 4 points. So I'm not going to end up getting that functionality until later in the game.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you get your choice. You can do this now or that later, because it is, you get to the point where you need to buy advanced lockpicking, or you get to the point where you need to buy advanced hacking, or you get to the point where there's just certain skills you need to buy. The armor enhancement skill, the weapon enhancement skills. Yeah, it just gets to a point. I mean, I still can't take on a super mutant reliably. So,
and you won't for quite a long time, by the way.
So, which is crazy because Keegan goes into armies of super mutants, and he's level like 13, and he just wipes them out. I have no idea what that kid does. It's just like, I don't know if he like stacked his luck stat or what, but it's crazy. You can just, I don't understand it. But
He's got the skills in a video game that you can only have when you're under the age of 16.
This may be true. This may be true. It's that unique combination of
he'll have to retire in 3 years.
Yeah, exactly. But I enjoy the game. It gets a little tedious with the restricted resources, right? Like we were saying, like adhesive. That can get tedious where you just need a freaking roll of duct tape or something, and you just can't find anything. I haven't really gotten in far enough that I've done any of the relationship stuff or anything yet, so I don't know how that all plays out. But it's a massive game. It's harder than I thought. I mean, compared to like Skyrim was way easier than this one so far. And I think part of that is when I played Skyrim, I snuck everywhere, and I was constantly getting experience for sneaking around, and I was increasing my sneaking skill. The only way for me now to increase my sneaking skill is to buy perks. And like we said, there's always something vying for your perk points. So it's definitely an interesting system. And yeah, like you said, it's unforgiving if you go one direction, not the band. Then you're locked out of a certain category until you can get around to boosting that part. So overall, though, it's a good game. It's a really good game. I'm enjoying it. Kind of surprising graphically. It definitely is not where I would have expected the game to be, but it's not so bad that it bothers me.
And there are times that I forget, and it's still pretty.
Yeah, it's still pretty. I mean, it's just got fairly limited draw distance, and sometimes you're looking at things and it's really obvious. It's just like, wow, really? Wow, okay. But yeah, for the most part, you're involved in the world, and when you get invested and involved in the world, then the rest of it just kind of fades away.
There is a lot of good building in it. Notes and records and stuff. It's really good.
Yeah. So I think that's the notable list. I think there were three other things I messed around with, but I couldn't remember what they were.
Well, one of the goals that John and I had over the holiday break was to finish our Divinity Original Sin Enhanced Emo Klepto Married Couple Edition. Sadly, as I discovered the hard way, there is a game-breaking bug within the last hour of the game that makes it so you cannot finish it. And so we have logged probably close to 100 hours on that video series, and until they release a patch, I cannot finish it.
So is this a bug because of something you did or didn't do, or is this a bug that everyone is
Okay, so great question. The answer is we don't know. There are problems with the trophies in that if you do A and then do B and then try to do whatever the trophy requires, it will not pop. So what you have to do is instead load a save back from before A, go do B, and then the trophy will pop. So we had a couple of those where we actually worked through that process on the stream. I have a trophy that I couldn't get to pop no matter what I did, which is extremely frustrating because I am going for the platinum in it. But what's more concerning is what happens in this bug, and no, not everyone has it. We don't know why some people do and some people don't. John did not have it in his single playthrough, as an example. But it seems like people who are playing on the hardest difficulty, where if you party wipe it erases your save, those people seem to be the most affected. Now, the version of the game that John and I are playing is not on that mode, but I do have that mode as my single player version of the game. So I'm wondering if that's what caused it. I don't know. but literally it wipes my entire party, so I can't move forward, which means that I obviously do not want to progress the game further on my hardcore playthrough, because if that bug is there, it will wipe my save. So I'm looking forward to Larian and Massive updating the game to fix that. I watched a ton of stuff from the Division Alpha. Got myself super excited for that game. Beta should be happening here pretty quickly. Played lots of Final Fantasy Record Keeper, lots of Gems of War, and Magic the Gathering Puzzle Quest, which is surprisingly good. And I also just watched a South Park episode about chickens playing Magic the Gathering. And then I also I got Just Cause 3 for the holiday break, and I've been playing the heck out of that. That game is ridiculously fun. And then I played a lot of Fallout 4, and that's it. I don't think there's anything else that I have. Oh, that's not true. There is one that I picked up on the sale. It's a side-scrolling hack and slash, a la Golden Axe type situation. It's on the PSN. There is zero story involved in it. You have a map, and it has a recommended level requirement to go in there, and you play through it, level up, buy new armor and equipment to suit your level, rinse and repeat. I don't even think that there is a way to finish the game. But I've been playing that with the missus, and she's been quite enjoying it. And that's the only reason I'm playing it. But that's available on the PSN. It was like $3. So your mileage may vary.
One other thing I did do, I didn't actually get to play the game, but I did finish my Star Wars figure collection for Infinity 3.0. So I have all the Star Wars characters now.
Congratulations. And with that, let's talk about news. And the first piece of news that we have to get to, CES. Sony had a slam bam thank you ma'am press conference that was the worst hour of my life that I've ever experienced.
Well, no, I think you've had a couple of worse, but it was right up there.
It was by far the worst press conference I've ever watched.
I was, by and large, I'll agree. I thought Kaz's, dang it, what am I trying to say? TED Talk style pep talk wasn't bad. I mean, it was fine. It was Kaz talking, so you can only get so mad at Kaz.
It was fine, but my problem with it was that if there had been substance that followed it, I would have been fine with it. But instead, what we got was a whole lot of soulless.
I called it. If you'll recall.
Oh, you did. You did. I will be the first to admit that, because we were discussing it beforehand, and Matt was like, "It's going to be soulless Drek." And I'm like, They could bring out Morpheus. Yeah, they brought out a video of Morpheus. They didn't do jack. And
if they would have let that guy go on for another minute about how much he loves his camera, I probably would have jumped out a window.
I was very disappointed in their showing. I thought they were going to come with the same quality as a gaming event. But to me, it just reinforced that Sony as a company outside of the gaming division is in serious trouble. Which they even alluded to no less than like 6 times in the actual show itself, that they got to make money because they're a business. No duh, guys. Go for it. How about not building camcorders that... Yeah. Anyways, we won't get into that.
That's the point we disagree on. But I mean, the show didn't give you any real information, right? I mean, never once was a spec mentioned. Never once was a price listed. Never once was a when anything is actually going to be available. It was just I love cameras. Don't you love cameras? Yes, I love cameras. Cameras are awesome. And now I've talked to camera people, and yes, that N17 or whatever it was is like, if you're going to get a camera to take pictures in low light level, that's the camera you go get. But you're catering to a very specific crowd with that type of stuff. And that was really kind of their whole thing. The only thing they had was that was kind of for the masses were that what was it called? Here, H. Ear.
Yeah.
Line of speaker and headsets, headphone wear stuff. So.
And I'm sorry, unless you're figured out how to crack Bose quality, I don't care. It's crazy. I really thought they were going to have a great press conference, and it was horrific. I don't know where they go from here, but I hope they release Morpheus and its price soon, because I think
somebody
that
else
will.
You keep on calling it Morpheus, which is kind of funny, because if we were doing stuff like that, you would be ripping us up one side.
You're right. You're right. PlayStation VR. You are correct. I wouldn't be ripping you. I'd be like,
ribbing.
VR.
Ribbing.
Oh, okay. Good. Yes. So yes, let's talk about that for a minute. Couple pieces of news to come out of CES. The big one is that Oculus announced two things. First, that its handheld controllers will not be coming out with the launch of the system. But secondly, everybody who backed the Kickstarter will be getting an Oculus commercial kit for free.
Everyone that bought the
dev kit.
The dev kit way back
Correct.
during the Kickstarter. So if you just kicked in $5 or whatever, no, you're not getting a free Oculus Rift.
Right. You had to have actually purchased one of the units. The other thing that they're saying, pre-orders started today.
Today. Yep.
I did not check.
$600.
$600.
$600 gets you the headset, an Xbox One controller, Eve Valkyrie, and another game that's not coming to my head off the top of my head. The Touch, which is their weird wiggle wand thing, is coming out later, and that'll be extra. If you don't have a computer that's compliant, estimated costs are about $1,000 to get a computer that meets the minimum specs.
And on top of that, you can pre-order it without paying for it up front. They won't actually take your money until it ships.
Yep.
So that's it is what it is. The other news to come out of the show is that the Vive, the HTC and Valve Vive, has updated its schematics, and they have a second dev unit that is supposed to mirror more closely to what their commercial release will be, and everybody is still raving about that as well. And thirdly, now that Oculus has set a price, I fully think that Sony will announce their price sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I'm guessing they'll undercut them by about $200.
That's what I'm thinking too. It should be about $400 in my estimation.
I read an article earlier today, and I didn't copy the link, and I can't find it back. I believe it was on Forbes, and they were talking about, of the three, the Vive, the Oculus, and the PlayStation VR. They were actually vying that of the three, PlayStation VR has the best potential to be successful because of the install base of the PlayStation, a lower buy-in cost, and the fact that Sony, because they are a media company, has the ability or the opportunity to be able to tap into multiple markets with the VR and take advantage of that. So it should be interesting. It's obviously, everyone admits, it's not the highest quality headset of the three.
And I've got an article that will be going up on the site shortly that talks about exactly that, and I don't think it matters. Before I did some really extensive hands-on, I thought the Vive was going to be the way to go. The higher the quality, the better. But after experiencing so much of the PlayStation VR stuff, I really don't think graphics quality is going to matter, because it's about the experience and whether or not it sucks you in. And even with low-res texture type of work that they're doing, your mind completely buys into it. And I think they have a huge install base. They just added another 5.5 million over the holiday season.
Yeah, they say to CS it was
5.7
something,
yeah,
5 point something 9.
Yes, and
It was a very large number.
Yeah, the 5.7 million. So their holiday total now tops, or to date, 35.9 million units. So that's a pretty healthy install base.
And every single one of those will power the PlayStation VR as opposed to the other two, where
Right.
most likely most people, unless you are a top of the line PC gamer, you're going to need to buy a new rig.
Kate, when we've been on before talking about VR, I'm not sure you were on. Are you excited for VR or no?
Not really. I mean, like, it's kind of out of my price range right now, but I mean, it's something that I'll have to experience for myself, but I'm not like chomping at the bit to play VR.
See, I'm the exact opposite spectrum, but
But
I
you've
think
had a taste.
That's exactly it. I think it's exactly until you put the headset on, it's like trying to explain the color yellow to a colorblind person. Until you see that and understand the frame of reference, it's really hard to discuss. And I think that's still going to be, I think that's going to be Sony's biggest challenge, well, not just Sony, but Oculus and everybody else, is how do you feasibly and scalably create a business model and marketing campaign that allows people to experience it. Because if they don't put the headset on, you can say anything you want, it's just, going to be gibberish. But once they put their head in the headset, and they feel how comfortable it is and how they just adopt that reality as the real one, if you will, that's the thing that drives me. I mean, I don't know how they're going to tackle that yet.
Yeah, I mean that's the where Microsoft with the HoloLens actually nailed that, because they came up with a setup where they could show you exactly what the person with the HoloLens was seeing.
But they lied through their teeth while they did it.
Well, yeah, but
I mean, you're right. I mean, it was something that you could see and go, "Oh, I get it," and that's amazing. But
right.
yeah. So, did I miss anything on the CES front? I don't think so.
I think so. Samsung put a giant tablet on the front of a refrigerator. Why? I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, well, they also created that remote that's supposed to control everything in the Internet of Things in your home.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
We'll see. Where else let's talk about something near and dear to Kate's heart. I did put it in here, Kate. So, there's a little game that's not coming out in the West.
That will have VR support.
And since we didn't talk about this before, Kate, there's good VR support and there's bad VR support. And I'm afraid this is going to be bad VR support. Because if you're doing a spin kick or jumping really quickly in VR, that's going to make you sick.
You don't do that stuff in Dead or Alive Extreme.
You got to jump for the volleyball, right?
No, it'd be more interacting with the character. That's what they said. They were going to do the VR build.
Okay.
For the dating simulator part
for
of
the
it.
dating sim.
I'm just not going to talk about special controllers. All right. So, Koei Tecmo had, up until this point, their most viewed video of all time was for their Zelda project that they did a little while back.
Hyrule Warriors?
Hyrule Warriors, that is correct. But it has recently been surpassed in a very short amount of time because the Dead or Alive Extreme 3 second trailer is now the most viewed trailer on YouTube for the company. And we were watching that right before the show.
I don't think that's the same video.
I hope it's not, because that one was just disturbing a little bit. What was the phrasing that you used? It was
Butt deformation?
butt deformation. Yes. Butt deformation.
Oh dear.
There are days I both simultaneously love and hate my job at the same time. Butt deformation, yes. When does that launch?
February 26th.
Ooh, it's right around the corner. I expect a full review from you since you are.
No one will ever see me again.
Yeah,
You'll only be able to stream because I'm hoping to stream it.
Streaming is evil.
Let's see what else. Oh, yes, this was quite a big development that happened over the weekend. MLG.
OMG?
Yeah, MLG is Major League Gaming, which is basically one of the premier esports leagues. Activision announced that they had completed a deal to acquire everything, including their debt, for $47 million. Activision is now attempting to make inroads as the quote, and this is their words, not mine, the ESPN of esports. So they are now betting whole hog on the esports bandwagon and are going to be integrating this in. The interesting questions are, will non-Activision games still be included? MLG had very popular Counter-Strike sections of their gaming population, among other things. And from some tweets from Activision executives, it seemed like there would be, but there's been no defined response yet. So that's something to keep your eye on as well.
Yeah, I mean, it would be stupid if they did acquire that and then they cut out like League of Legends and Counter-Strike and stuff like that. They would just be driving people to another league, and they would be losing all that whatever, I don't know, revenue or whatever,
Yeah.
whatever, from having those people there in that league. So I can't imagine. Well, it is Activision, so there's that. But let's assume that they're rational and sane for a moment, and I can't believe that they would go ahead and say, oh yeah, okay, now we can only do Active Blizzard Vision games. That would kill it. It would be dead. It would die. Everyone else would migrate to some other league, and it would be gone.
I actually am kind of enthused that they have a dedicated esports division for Diablo, for I'm not gonna say World of Warcraft, but StarCraft.
Well, I'm not saying they'll definitely become featured, if you will, right? I mean, they'll go out of their way to highlight those, but they would be completely stupid, I'll just use that term, to eliminate any others.
Well, it'll be an interesting thing to watch, and we will update everyone as we find out whether or not they are, as Matt said, stupid or not. What else? Oh, Kate, you like fighting games.
Yeah, but I can't really talk right now. There's too much noise in the background.
Okay. Well, Matt, you don't like fighting games.
I play them from time to time. I'm not any good at them, but sure. What's up?
So there's a small game coming out called Tekken 7.
Oh yeah, I think I might have heard of that one. Tekken is actually the one series I generally do enjoy.
Well, they announced right before the holiday season, in one of the most epic trailers ever put out for a fighting game, that Akuma is from Street Fighter is going to be not just making a crossover appearance, but will be an ingrained part of the storyline.
Yep.
So that was exciting, but they did also clarify that most likely he will be the only one that will be making the transition over, because they don't like using guest characters because it can break the break
the mold, right? I mean, this is similar to what was it, Soul Calibur, when they had Link and Yoda and Darth Vader and that kind of stuff. It's interesting. I mean, Akuma for the most part probably is one of the most easy characters from the Street Fighter world to integrate, I think, into Tekken.
I just really have to wonder if they're gonna force Tekken controls onto him, or if you'll be able to play Street Fighter controls for him.
My guess is they'll probably force Tekken controls onto him, and they'll definitely nerf things like Hadoken
just the way that game controls work. They'll force Tekken, like with guest characters, just like they forced Dead or Alive controls onto the Virtua Fighter characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though Virtua Fighter doesn't even exist anymore, that's like a totally different.
Please stop breaking my heart.
Mark wants to play with.
Sega does not care about that series at all.
Yeah, I know. It drives me nuts.
Mark misses his Akira.
No, Tina.
Oh, that's right. You're Tina. That's right.
Tina and Jackie. What else? Oh, Kate.
Mm-hmm.
You like Final Fantasy. What if I told you the Final Fantasy 15? Now bear with me. Just hear me out to the end. What if I told you that Final Fantasy 15 is coming out this year?
I'd believe it.
You should, because they said it's coming out this year.
Yeah, I knew it was going to come out this year.
Well, they still didn't give an exact date of when it's coming out this year, but they said it is coming out this year.
I'm guessing November.
Yeah, I think it might even be December, because there would not be a lot of competition for the spot in December.
But there's going to be a lot of ports. Like their 6 and 9 are being ported to the PC, which means they'll probably be ported to the PS4 and Xbox.
We'll see. I hope
and
they do.
9 has the triple speed thing too. Which
Does it?
Desperately needs.
Well, 9 also needs a complete rewrite and not to be set in backwards time from 7 and 8, but that's neither here nor there.
Oh, come on now. The setting's fine.
First disc is amazing. It starts to fall down after that, though.
Let's
Still
see.
like it, though.
I have a piece of news about the fact that you can use the new Apple TV to emulate classic game consoles through side-loading some stuff using the new USB 3.0 port on the back of it. But I don't want to really get into the details of that.
The best thing about that article is in the picture, there's 3 Android figures in the background.
Yeah. One of the interesting things related to fighting games came out over the break, that there was an interview with some of the SNK head honchos, and everybody is like, hey, there's a new King of Fighter coming out, and you guys seem to be making a lot of video games again. Why is that? And he's like, oh, it's because in Japan they changed the pachinko laws and we can't make pachinko games anymore. So we were like, hey, everybody still knows this is a gaming company. Let's do that. And so they're a gaming company.
So they're reverse Konami.
They're the reverse Konami. That is exactly correct.
Bizarro Konami.
Which I'm okay with. Is a good thing to be.
Yeah. I'm okay with that, really.
The funny thing is, though, the article doesn't say what the change in the laws was. That's what's really got me curious.
It does not say what it was. What else? Oh, did you know they're making a new Voltron?
Yeah, actually, I saw that this morning.
I did not know that, but I was like, I must say something about it.
Every single news article about it made it look like it was by Guillermo del Toro.
They did make it look like that.
It's 2 totally separate things. But everybody in the universe collectively went squeeing, what? At the same time.
Yeah, that's exactly what that would be.
Of a Del Toro Voltron.
Square Enix closed Shinra Technologies. That's right. Avalanche didn't do it. Square did this week. Shinra Technologies was their cloud gaming service that Yoichi Wada former CEO of Square Enix, was working for and started. And that pretty much means that the only person left standing for streaming game services is Sony. Congratulations, PlayStation Now.
Which all two people who use it are doing it.
There's one more piece of.
They did just add, what was it, like 140? Was it? Okay, it was new. It seemed like it was a big number of.
It was 40 new PS3 games.
Yeah,
I don't know about anything
which are
beyond that.
PlayStation exclusive titles. They weren't multi-plat titles. So. That was the news we had listed.
Yeah, no, that one that I wasn't sure what it was the story about Kickstarter folks getting it for free. There was a PlayStation outage. Sony said they're going to extend PS Plus subscritions probably for like a day.
Video rentals
and PlayStation Now.
Yeah. The last time this happened for a couple of days, they gave us 5 days.
Yeah.
My guess is they'll probably do the same thing. Because it doesn't 5 days doesn't hurt them one way or the other.
Right.
I mean, though for a less than 12-hour outage, that's kind of ridiculous level of compensation, in my opinion. That there are services that have been out for way longer than that, and you don't get any compensation for it. So, it's nice of them to do, but I mean, for me, it was not a big deal because the majority of the outage hours were during working hours. I wasn't using the PSN anyway.
I was using it,
but there were people
Not
that were
really.
trying to use it, and most colleges are still on winter break, so.
It only affected me uploading my trophies from.
I was like, Fallout 4 doesn't require PSN. I'm fine.
Well, that's going to bring us to reader mail then.
What about reader female?
Dude 2020 asks.
With these
I don't make up the names. I just read the news as people write them in. Asked, what are some good local co-op games to play with my friend? And I took a moment to write a couple quick thoughts out from my head. Child of Light, Rock Band, Divinity Original Sin. Hopefully it doesn't bug out on you and you can't finish the game. I'm not bitter. Diablo 3 Ultimate Edition, Trine, Magicka.
Fighting games.
Fighting games.
And you didn't. Well, see, that was where I kind of got stuck because it does say co-op, not versus. So yeah, that kind of I had a list going at first and then realized most of them were versus games. The one on there better than Magicka that you don't have listed is Helldivers.
That is very true. Little Big Planet. Yep.
Little Big Planet. I added onto the list Battlefront, the survival mode. Not in and of itself. You can't buy Battlefront just for the co-op. But if you have Battlefront, the kids and I have actually had quite a bit of fun playing the survival levels. Any Lego game that doesn't have Indiana Jones in it, sadly, those were not good. And again, some of these are aimed at younger because, well, that's my audience. And then the Toys to Games, Toys to Life, whatever. Disney Infinity, Skyrim, or not Skyrim, Skylanders. Disney Infinity or Skylanders. Those are the good co-op opportunities. Those were ones that I thought of.
Kate, any others that you can think of?
No.
Okay.
Co-op.
Yeah, I want to challenge that Magicka inclusion in co-op. I think there's that game almost.
Well, then you have to challenge Helldivers.
Helldivers, you can actually go 5 minutes without killing your friends and neighbors. You can't go 10 seconds in Magicka without killing your friends and neighbors.
No, you can. We just don't have friends that do it.
Fair enough, but it is way. I mean, there is a huge difference between. Yes, you can kill your co-players in Magicka and Helldivers both, but in Magicka it is way easier. And yeah, when you're playing with John, nobody survives.
Yeah, nobody. Yeah. Snowman92 asks, what games would you consider perfect in terms of not necessarily your favorite games, but ones with tight controls, gorgeous visuals, sweeping scores, engaging stories, and when all of these come together to make the perfect game.
Silent Hill 2.
There you go. I'm going to say Rock Band 2 and 3.
Matt's got nothing.
Well, no, I get hung up on this gorgeous visuals thing, but again, it's a perspective and it's a period thing. But to me, still the most perfect game ever made has been Chrono Trigger.
Mm. Good call. I'm not gonna. Yeah. Fearless asks, what single-player RPGs really highlight mage and mage-like abilities?
This is a hard one. I thought about this a long time, and I could not add to your list.
I'm like a hack and slash person. Mages are always secondary in my parties, so I don't know. Even if an RPG was kind of like, you should use magic more, I'm like, but I want to hit things with my sword.
I said Demon and Dark Souls, Divinity Original Sin, which probably has the best mage interactions with other characters. If I put up a firewall and an archer shoots arrows through the fire, they become fire arrows.
Well, I'd say something like one of the Skyrim or Dragon Age kind of thing, because if you create a mage,
yep,
you have to use magic. There's no way around it.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought about that. I thought about Skyrim, but then I'm like, you know what? Even then, there are times where you cannot avoid having to pull out your dagger and just start stabbing stuff.
Yeah, but most of the time you will have to rely on magic.
Yeah.
See, and then I went a little farther back and I said Baldur's Gate. But then more recent, Dragon's Dogma, Dark Arisen, which that game's magic spells are phenomenal. I wish they would make a PS4 version of that game already, but I digress. Or just give us access to the... Kate, do you know about Dragon's Dogma Online?
No.
Oh, in Japan, they have an MMO, Dragon's Dogma, and it's amazing, and we don't get it here. It's so frustrating. But you can go onto YouTube and watch videos of it, and it's like, I want to be playing that. I don't have time to play that, but I want to be playing that. So yeah. And then if I really wanted to reach back into the bag, I'd say the old Oblivion first-person versions of the games, Kingsfield. Those are games where you could make mages that were pretty kick-ass. Kingsfield is actually what, if you're not familiar with it, it was actually the predecessors to Demon and Dark Souls by 2 platform generations. So, did you know that that's the same company?
I hadn't thought about it, but yeah, now that you mention it, yeah, it is. When you add Demon and Dark Souls in there, I do not think of that game as involving magic at all.
Well, your first playthrough never is. It's usually the second playthrough where you're like, oh, I got a dinky wand. I wonder if I can survive with this. Oh, holy crap, yes I can.
So I've never, all I ever hear about is the board and sword. I never ever hear about anyone doing magic. But again, I don't pay attention to it a huge amount because it's not something I'm going to dive into. So I thought about things like I've got
some news, maybe.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I just saw it on my Facebook. Since they seem to make an Assassin's Creed game every 6 months, they're talking about the one that's going to launch in 2017. And it's going to be set in Egypt.
Yeah, so this is all from a leak from 4chan, which I actually read the original thread on.
Is it like completely bull?
Hard to say. The guy sounds like a dev. Well, actually an artist who is a dev. But we're really going to have to wait and see if it's true or not. But he's saying there will not be one announced at E3, and then
what?
Right.
What's it he's going to talk about?
So they're saying it's the team that did, or he's saying it's the team that did Black Flag, and that this has been the plan since even back then.
Is it like ancient Egypt?
It is indeed ancient Egypt.
That'd be sweet.
And the poster said the reason they're doing that is because then they don't have to worry as much about things that actually happened, and they have a little bit more story to play with.
Yeah, because I imagine that's kind of, if you're like going to be really, really faithful to history, that's hard for story.
Yeah, I can imagine so too.
Well, there's the new ones, not Syndicate, but one that's coming out that's set in India, right?
I do not know anything about that.
I thought I saw something about that on Facebook, had a thing where it's called Legends or something like that.
Haven't heard anything about that.
Creed India. Assassin's Creed Chronicles India.
Is that like the Chinese one? There was I think it was Assassin's Creed Chronicles China that came out right before or after Syndicate came out.
It says it's coming out in January.
Isn't
Yeah, because it says Assassin's Creed Chronicles India his PC, PS4, and Xbox One on January 12th. It will also be available alongside Russia and last year's China in a Chronicles multi-pack in February.
Yeah, and I seem to think it's a downloadable game only. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry to derail.
No, you're fine.
Sorry, Dude and Snowman.
That is going to bring us to the end of Reader Mail, and I thought we would start.
No.
Yes, I thought we would start 2016 off with a bang. Let's bring back video game 20 questions.
Oh, good. I thought it was going to be a pun.
No, that's coming yet. That's still coming.
That's still coming. So
only two of us. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, for those of you that are not familiar, the panel has 20 questions to figure out what video game I have in mind. They may only ask yes or no questions. If they guess a game and it is not that game, then they automatically fail. So I don't have any fancy music since we couldn't get anything working this evening for the podcast, but I will open my notepad so that I can keep track of the number of questions you've asked. And 20 questions, you may begin.
Am I a game made in the past 5 years?
Okay, so was the game made in the last 5 years? No.
Okay.
Was the game originally released on a console?
Yes.
Was this game originally released in the 80s?
No.
The way you thought about that, either 79 or 91.
Well, I guess might as well go one way or the other. Was the game originally released in the 90s?
Yes.
Okay. Was the game on a Nintendo console?
No.
Let's see, 90s.
Was the game an RPG?
No.
Was the game released on a Sony console?
No.
Probably Sega.
Was this game a platformer?
Yes.
Platformer for Sega.
Does the
Okay.
game feature vampires?
No.
Okay, this isn't my guess, but I'm asking Matt.
Okay.
I'm thinking Knights. Was that a platformer? I can't remember.
I never played it. I don't know.
I don't know if you would define it as a platformer.
I wouldn't even
That's
know
what I'm
any
thinking because it's Sega.
question. What, yeah, do we want to just go ahead and ask the Sega
Yeah, let's just
question?
guess it. Or you can just ask something to narrow it down.
What was the game published on a Sega console originally?
Can you repeat the question?
Was the game originally released on a Sega console?
Yes. Which my autocorrect immediately changed to drag console.
As it should. No, I'm kidding.
Should we just guess?
Yeah, I was not a Sega
Wait,
guy.
you have
No idea.
9 questions left?
Okay, was the game a Sonic the Hedgehog game?
No, if you do that, then you're guessing the title.
I can't ask if it was in that series.
Right, you can't, because that would be guessing a title.
Can I
Did
guess
the
if
ga-
there's a character named Sonic in it?
Yes.
There is? Okay, so it's Sonic. Which Sonic, though?
I don't Sonic on the Sega in the 90s. Well, that could be to still include Genesis. Sega CD,
Was it on the Sega
Dreamcast.
Genesis?
Yes.
Okay.
So which Sonics came out on the Genesis? Because
Not
I
for
was
that.
never a Sonic guy.
And it changes to drag Genesis now. Fantastic. I don't know what its fixation is there. You have 7 questions remaining.
Okay, this is a clarification on the rules. If I asked about a quality of the title, would that still count as a guess of the title? For example, is there a number in the title? Would that be a valid question or not?
That would be a valid question.
Is there a number in the title?
No.
No. Okay. So it's not Sonic 2 or 3. But are you looking at a list of Sonic the Hedgehog games on Sega?
Sega Master System, though.
Well, you said Genesis, so it shouldn't be. So it looks like there was Sonic and Knuckles.
You guys are cheating. You're not supposed to use the internet in the middle of 25.
I have no idea what Sonic games were on the Genesis.
Well, you can blame Dave for not being here because he's the Genesis
he would
expert.
get it.
Yeah, we don't know anything about Genesis. We were cool kids. We didn't have a Genesis.
Exactly. To which Dave would respond, "Oh, the cool kids had a Genesis." So let's see.
Was it a creativity game?
No.
Okay. Let's throw that one.
5 questions remaining.
Did the game feature more than one main character?
No.
Okay, I don't know my stuff, but that seems to be pointing toward the original. And again, this is toward Kate, not you. Don't listen. Seems to indicate the original Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Did you make this choice particularly hard to figure out?
No.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go with
For people who
Sonic
aren't
the
Dave.
Hedgehog.
Yeah, should we just go with?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just go with it. Was the game Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yes. Which is celebrating its 25th anniversary this year.
25.
That is correct. Originally released in
Dave would be like so upset with us right now.
He probably would have guessed like the second thing. Was it Sonic the Hedgehog?
Originally released on 1991 on the Genesis, creating a mascot for the company and establishing Genesis as a somewhat key player, despite whatever Dave says, in the 16-bit era to compete with the Super Nintendo and the Nintendo. So, yes, Sonic the Hedgehog. Good job, everybody. You did it. And you still had 4 questions to spare.
Yeah.
That's
cheating.
Yeah, you did cheat.
A little bit of cheating. Not a lot of cheating. It's just.
Dude, I didn't have a Sega Genesis. I don't know any of the games on there.
That's going to bring us final thoughts. 8, your final thoughts for the
No puns. Please make it a New Year's resolution.
Matt, your final thoughts.
This is something I've been trying to formulate for a while, but it's like something I don't know how to say this, so I guess I'm just going to start saying something, and I'll take less than 30 seconds to say it. But
you already took more than 30 seconds.
Well, that was just the description. The world, should just be able to appreciate things like a Star Wars movie that doesn't suck, without trying to make it out that it's not some art house movie, so it's terrible. It's just relax and enjoy things.
Why are you listening to internet people?
I don't know, but when you have nice, cool things, then you get things like cool X-Wing Legos. So, the Force Unleashed, is it perfect? No. Has any Star Wars movie been perfect? Hell no. I love Star Wars, and there's still, it's there is a lot of slack in all of Star Wars. So, I don't get it. Just relax, enjoy the movie, and I just knocked something over and it fell behind a desk. That's not good. But
this is more than 30 seconds.
Nope, I'm done. That was it. I counted. 30 seconds.
Let's see. If you haven't given Superstore on NBC a chance, it's one of those series that's actually well written right out of the gate and has been delivering belly laughs. Maybe I might be too close to the source material since I lived in an area where you could walk into Walmart and see the de-evolution of man. But
I will agree on that. I've been to Michigan Superstore Walmart.
No, this is Southwest Missouri.
The Michigan ones were terrifying.
Yeah, no. So, it's quite humorous, and I do definitely recommend it. And then we'll end the show as we always do.
Oh Lord, here it comes.
This one's relative short and sweet. What kind of shoes do ninjas wear?
Soft shoes.
Sneakers.
Good one. All right.
Until next week. Game on.
Game on.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the website, gamersledge.com. Facebook.
Wait a minute, you did that out of order. What are you doing? You're
messing with I can do it here. And gamersledge@gmail.com if you'd like to be part of the show. And we'll see you next week. Game on again.
Bye.
Game on 2.